A 70-year-old man charged with having sex with a minor. A local dentist sounding the alarm about unlicensed persons performing dental work. And young entrepreneurs encouraged to work together.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Wolf-Parkinson. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping the news tonight, an elderly man who was arrested earlier this week for the alleged sexual assault of a young girl had his day in court. The suspect, who was handcuffed and shackled, proclaiming his innocence, went hauled before a magistrate this morning. Megan Shepard was there.
70-year-old Norman Ferguson standing before Deputy Chief Magistrate Debbie Ferguson on Wednesday, March 13th on the charge of unlawful sexual intercourse. During court proceedings, Magistrate Ferguson making it clear that although she shares the same surname as the accused, they are not related. She then asked Norman Ferguson if he wished to have her presiding over the case, and he said yes. Ferguson is charged with engaging in unlawful sexual intercourse on March 10th with a dependent 8-year-old girl. Magistrate Ferguson then gave him the option of having his case heard before her in the magistrate's court or in the Supreme Court before another judge and a jury. Ferguson opted to have his case heard at the magistrate level. The accused then entered a plea of not guilty and was given an adjournment date of Wednesday, June 12, 2019. Bail was denied, but he has the option of applying for bail through the Supreme Court. The Deputy Chief Magistrate then asked Ferguson if he had any questions or issues. Norman Ferguson attempted to explain to the magistrate that he believes he is before the court because of a disagreement between he and his wife over a DVD. The accused said that he is not messing with no little girl, but rather that he told his wife to return a DVD. He then pulled out the plug of a surge protector in their home, and then she got mad. Ferguson said he gave a statement to an employee of the court already, but he still has 2 more statements he would like to give in the future. He then insisted on his innocence, saying, "You think I can wait till I'm 70 to fool with no little girl?" As he was being escorted out of the courtroom, he informed the magistrate that the shackles around his ankles were uncomfortable and he wished to have them removed. But Magistrate Debbie Ferguson directed court officials to just walk slowly. Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Meanwhile, 19-year-old Nubian Stewart also hauled before Magistrate Debbie Ferguson this morning to answer to the charge of unlawful sexual intercourse. It is alleged that on March 5th, Stewart engaged in unlawful sexual intercourse with a 13-year-old female. Bail was denied and Stewart was remanded to the Department of Correctional Services. He does have the right to apply for bail through the Supreme Court. The matter was adjourned to June 12th of this year, and the case will proceed by way of a voluntary bill of indictment. Switching gears now, tonight, dental professionals are warning residents to stay away from persons posing as dentists. They share the many dangers that can take place when you are not under the care of a licensed professional. A 27-year-old Jamaican woman was hauled before the court just last week in the nation's capital on fraud charges. Reports indicate that the woman was using the title of an orthodontist, advertising as a dentist and practicing as a dentist, but she isn't qualified to do so. Here on Grand Bahama, Dr. Catherine Adderley, Director of Dentistry and Family Island Rep with the Bahamas Dental Council, says there are persons who are running these types of illegal operations here on this island, and some persons are utilizing these illicit services.
Well, it first started showing up maybe about a year or so ago. We saw patients coming into our practice with these suspect-looking braces, and when you ask them where they got them from, sometimes they would hesitate a little bit, and then we started getting various reports that they were getting them done in homes or beauty salons or places that were not traditional dentist office. And they could not name the practitioner they were being put on. I would say, did a doctor put them on? They would say, no, this lady put them on. That was when we first started seeing them.
ZNS News has learned that these fraudsters have come to this island operating in hair salons. And we have also been reliably informed that some children from one school in particular would visit a home on the island to have these so-called cosmetic braces placed on their teeth. But dental hygienist Samantha Forbes says this can be dangerous.
For you to go to someone's house, for someone who just ordered something off of Amazon, and allow them to put orth braces on your teeth without the deep understanding of what's behind it. Let me just give you a quick rundown. When you go to have braces done, you are actually moving teeth in the bone, which is your skull. That is a sign of breaking down bone and bone being built up again. You have to know what you're doing. And persons, I've seen persons who have gone to orthodontists who have not done a correct job and they've lost all of the bone inside of their mouth.
The saddest case I've seen is about a year ago. I saw a young lady in her 30s who had to have all of her lower teeth pulled out because of what I like to call braces gone bad. Everything just moved too quickly. She lost a lot of bone. She came in with an infection. And when we took some x-rays, we realized that she'd had her braces on for a very long time and they weren't supervised, and she lost all of her lower front teeth.
They also questioned the sanitary conditions of the places where these cosmetic braces are being applied.
How are their instruments being cleaned? How's their equipment being sterilized? Because, you know, the mouth is full of bacteria and viruses, and people come in with illnesses that you don't know anything about. And if your equipment is not properly cleaned and sterilized, then those bacteria and viruses can be passed on.
These professionals are sounding the alarm to persons operating as dentists and warn them that this practice is against the law.
People need to know, the people practicing and doing these procedures who are not licensed dental practitioners need to know that it's a crime. Whether you call yourself a dentist or not, if you are performing dental procedures, that includes orthodontics or what we call braces, if you're doing grills, if you're doing whitening, if you're doing any of these things, and you're not a licensed dental practitioner and you're not doing them under the supervision of a licensed dental practitioner, that is a crime.
People just look at the surface, but it runs much deeper than that, and so there should be a heavy penalty and fine for persons. And I even encourage persons, even when you go into a dental practice and you receive services from someone in a dental practice, ask about their certification.
In other news, consumer education being promoted this week. The Ministry of Labor is hosting an exhibition at the Harold de Gregory Complex to highlight Consumer Education Week. Under the theme, Trusted Smart Products, the ministry is partnering with sponsors like Alive, the Grand Bahama Power Company, the Grand Bahama Kidney Center, and Northern Bahamas Utilities. Chief Price Inspector at the Consumer Affairs Unit, Reno Smith, is inviting members of the public to view this exhibition as he says consumer education is important.
We believe that an educated consumer is the best consumer. We want them to know their rights, and with the smart products, it's important for them to know not only about the tablets or the cell phones, but a lot of things that can enable their lives to become easier as a result of using smart products. And so we would love for them to come down and be a part of this exhibition.
President and CEO of Northern Bahamas Utilities, Dr. Carlton Bosfield, says that the goal is to add value to the consumer's life by reducing their dependency on energy and cutting electricity costs. He says the exhibition gives consumers an opportunity to see an actual solar system at work while learning more about products and services.
Our goal is that if we can install solar systems and reduce the energy costs for consumers in Grand Bahama and eventually the entire Bahamas, that it would give people more discretionary income to do some of the high quality of life things with it. So as a part of our display that's behind me today, we have a solar system, an active solar system. It's being run by two 325-watt panels outside, and it's connected to that inverter and the charge controller device here. It is powering our whole booth. The large TV screen you see in the back, that is not relying on any power in this building. That's being powered solely and completely by the solar system.
Well, this week-long exhibition concludes on Friday morning at 10 a.m. with a special ceremony. Minister of Labor Dion Folks is expected to attend. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Stay with us. There's more news on the other side of the break.